You're watching Netrush Report, your home for tennis drama, rivalries, and the stories that go far beyond the baseline. If you live for the intensity, the comebacks, and the legends in the making, hit that subscribe button and join the rush. For the first time in over 2 years, Emma Raducanu is seeded again, or at least in line to be. Her climb to world number 32 with 1,498 ranking points may sound like just another step in a professional's career, but for Raducanu, it's nothing short of monumental. Let's rewind. In 2022, Raducanu's form collapsed under the weight of injuries and expectation. By early 2024, she found herself ranked outside the top 300, a brutal fall from grace for the teenager who had stunned the world by winning the US Open in 2021 as a qualifier. Critics dismissed her as fragile, sponsors faced backlash for investing too early, and even fans questioned whether she'd ever regain her footing. And yet, here she is. After her run at the Korea Open in Seoul, she climbed back into the top tier. It wasn't just about the numbers on paper, it was about what those numbers represented: resilience, recovery, and raw determination. Her opening match in Seoul against Jacqueline Christian was more than just a win. It was a statement. Rain delays had stretched the contest's anticipation for more than 24 hours. For a player with a history of disrupted momentum, such delays could have spelled disaster. But Emma stepped on court composed, steady, and, most importantly, hungry. She dispatched Christian in straight sets, and then came the moment that shook fans. After the final point, she collapsed to her knees, tears streaming down her face. It wasn't victory alone she was celebrating. It was survival, progress, and the validation that the grind had been worth it. When asked about it afterward, Raducanu chose to keep the breakdown private. Her words were simple but revealing. "It hasn't been easy. I feel like I've played this match the last 3 days. To have pulled through after waiting, I'm super pleased at how I came through." This was Emma at her most human, vulnerable yet triumphant. Her second-round clash, however, ended in defeat to Barbara Krejcikova, the Czech Grand Slam champion. Raducanu fought bravely, pushing Krejcikova to 3 sets before falling 4-6, 7-6, 1-6. The loss stung, but the points gained were enough to elevate her ranking. In many ways, that match symbolized her current place in tennis: competitive, dangerous, but still searching for the consistency needed to go deep week after week. Perhaps the most telling move in her comeback wasn't even on the court. Emma made the controversial decision to withdraw late from Great Britain's Billie Jean King Cup Finals team. Instead of donning national colors, she turned her focus to the Asian hardcourt swing, prioritizing ranking points over patriotic duty. Team captain and Kia Thaving admitted her disappointment, but remained professional, saying, "It's obviously disappointing, but I do want the main focus to be on the players I have and the challenge we have ahead." It was a gamble, no doubt. National representation often cements a player's image at home. But Raducanu's calculation was clear. What mattered most was momentum heading into 2026. And with her climb back into the top 32, it's hard to argue she made the wrong call. Rankings tell part of the story, but Raducanu's performances at this year's Grand Slams tell another. For the first time since her US Open triumph, she consistently reached the 3rd round at the Australian Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. Small steps, but steady. Her loss to Jessica Pegula at the China Open showed she still struggles against top 5 opponents. But it also showcased her ability to battle. Off the court, she charmed fans by speaking fluent Mandarin during a post-match interview in Beijing, a move that won her global applause and highlighted her international appeal. That balance, competitive fire on court and relatability off it, is exactly what keeps her marketable and magnetic. When Emma Raducanu cries on a tennis court, it's not weakness, it's release. Too often, athletes are expected to be stoic machines. Raducanu's tears after beating Christian reminded fans of her humanity. This isn't just about tennis. It's about a young woman rediscovering her power in front of millions. 18 months ago, she was recovering from wrist and ankle surgeries, dealing with coaching instability, and absorbing the ridicule of critics who saw her as a faded comet. Today, she's Britain's top-ranked player and seeded once again. Her story is one of defiance, of saying no to the narrative that she was a one-time wonder. Now the real test begins. Re-entering the top 32 opens doors, most notably, the chance to be seeded at the Australian Open in 2026. Being seeded matters. It means avoiding early round clashes with the likes of Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, or Aryna Sabalenka. It offers breathing room in the chaotic first week of a slam. But tennis is brutal. Rankings fluctuate with every win and loss. To stay seeded, RADUCANU will need to not just win one-off matches, but string together consistent results. The mental side will be just as critical. Can she tune out the noise? Can she avoid the injury traps that derailed her before? Can she build a long-term coaching relationship to stabilize her growth? Her fans believe. Her critics wait. And RADUCANU herself seems ready to answer. Emma Raducanu's journey has been anything but linear. From the shocking heights of 2021 to the crushing depths of injury and criticism, to now standing once again on the cusp of greatness, her story embodies resilience. The tears in Seoul weren't just for a match. They were for every setback, every surgery, every doubt she's had to silence. And now, seated once again, she faces the next chapter not as a teenager overwhelmed by the spotlight, but as a seasoned fighter ready to carve her place in the sport's future. So, has Emma Raducanu truly turned the corner? Or is this just another temporary rise in a roller coaster career? One thing's certain, her journey is far from over, and tennis fans around the world will be watching. You've been watching Netrush Report, your home for tennis drama, rivalries, and the stories that go far beyond the baseline. If you live for the intensity, the comebacks, and the legends in the making, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment on where you think Raducanu's ranking will stand by the Australian Open, and join the rush.